Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us for our first In the Kitchen with Across the Fence program for 2017. We extend Happy New Year wishes to all of you loyal viewers, and appropriately, our theme for today is favorite recipes for 2017. Before we meet our chefs, we have a couple of things to take care of. First, the winner of this month's drawing for the Christmas Country Style Cookbook is Tom Marchland of Poultney. Congratulations to you, Tom. What a nice way to start the new year. You'll be getting the cookbook in the mail any day now. Along with Tom, we know that there are a lot of men who like to cook, including loyal viewers Ron Unkert from Craftsbury Common, who just became a subscription member, and Charlie Farnsworth from Witherby, New York, Alfred St. Hilaire from St. Albans, Jeff Pastor over in Hyde Park, Art Renauld of Georgia, Dean West from Johnson. Down in Rutland is Tony Russell and John Ehrenberg from Chester. Our thanks to each of you and the thousands of others who join us for Across the Fence. Joining me now are our chefs who are here to share some of their favorite recipes for 2017. Welcome and Happy New Year to all of you. To my right, of course, is Carolyn Peak from Williamstown, along with Deb Plumley and Lynn Jarvis, who are from South Hero. And Deb, you have the honor of presenting us with the first recipe of the year.
Well, thank you, and welcome 2017 to all of our viewers. So get a jump start on a cold wintry day with this easy potato bacon cheddar soup. Using just one pot and a few on-hand ingredients, you can make this tasty soup. And I'm just going to tilt it up a little bit here so the viewers can see it. Saute a ½ pound of chopped bacon in a large stock pot. Remove the bacon when brown and add a ½ cup of chopped yellow onion. Put that in the remaining bacon fat, saute that until that's browned. Add 32 ounces of chicken broth and 2 cups of prepared mashed potatoes. You can either use some of your leftover homemade or whip up some instant. Whisk this together until well combined. Cook until heated through, seasoning with salt and pepper to taste. Add approximately 1 cup of shredded cheese and stir until melted. Pour into bowls and top with the cooked bacon and additional chopped onion. And I like to add a little dollop of sour cream for some extra richness. Just a great thing for a cold winter day. Now here's our next recipe, which is sweet and sticky chicken. And if one of your New Year resolutions was to buy less takeout and make homemade meals, this is a quick weekday solution. Mix together brown sugar, honey, soy sauce, ginger, chopped garlic, and crushed pineapple into a bowl. Cut 4 boneless chicken halves into 1/2 inch strips. Season lightly with salt and pepper. Brown the chicken in a large skillet and pour the sauce over the chicken and simmer about 8 to 10 minutes. Remove the chicken, keep it warm, and continuing to cook the sauce another 5 to 7 minutes until it's thickened. So serve it over rice, I think is great, and top with some of the additional sweet and sticky sauce. This is a great fix for a busy weeknight. Now, of course, there's always room for desserts. And where would we be without favorite recipes if we didn't include some desserts? My viewer recipe is from Greta Crandall of Peru, Vermont, and she sent this in sharing that it came from her cousin that lived in Hawaii. And I'm going to try to say this appropriately. It's palada hala kahikini, which is pineapple coconut bread. You take your standard quick bread ingredients of flour, eggs, butter, and sugar. Add in the moistness of crushed pineapple and coconut, and you are going to forget about a dreary winter day. All the flavors of warm sunshine. This makes a standard 9x5 loaf. I would seriously consider to double the recipe to make 2, so you can have 1 in the freezer to thaw for unexpected company. This is great just as is, or if you want to, Dust it with a little bit of confectioner's sugar just before serving. And that is wonderful, and I want to thank Greta for sending that recipe in. My last recipe is a family favorite that uses just 4 ingredients for the cake. Combine a devil's food cake mix with a can of cherry pie filling. Add a teaspoon of almond extract and beat in 3 eggs. Bake in a 13 by 9 pan. Frost the warm cake with a chocolate glaze made with boiled butter, sugar, and milk with melted chocolate chips. Perfect for your chocoholic lovers. And Carolyn, I can't wait to hear what you've got to share. Happy New Year to you.
Well, you too, but boy, my eye is on those.
We'll save one for you. How about
thank
that?
you. All right. Well, like we say, Happy New Year to all of you, and I hope that this winter isn't too rough on you. But we have some nice things to help you keep warm and toasty and happy in the new year. The first thing I have is a slow cooker potato and corn chowder. And my slow cooker comes in very handy. You just put everything except the butter and cream into the pot and let it cook. And then just before serving, you put in some heavy cream and some butter, and it just makes up a really nice soup that is so good for this cold weather. Now, to go with the soup, I have sweet potato bread, and it's made in a bread machine. And I actually made them into rolls this time. It's a very nice bread that is just, it's got a wonderful flavor to it, just really, really good with that bowl of soup, so you're all set for a nice meal. Cranberry Waldorf salad. Now, I read that and I thought, that sounds a little weird, but it is a whole lot good. It's got your regular, the little marshmallows, the apples, chopped nuts, pineapple, green grapes, and then the heavy whipping cream. And it's also got 2 cups of, I used fresh cranberries, you can use frozen if you want, cut in half, and just a really, really nice salad that, you know, it's a cold salad, but it would still go good with the soup and the rolls. So you can have that with your dinner. And it's a very simple recipe to make. The longest part of it is taking cutting the cranberries in half. Now, dessert. You know, I'm still keeping my eye on those chocolate cakes that Deb made, but this one is apple walnut squares from Carolyn Bourgeois from Vergennes, Vermont. And this one, again, is very simple. The longest part of doing it is peeling the apples, but it's just butter and sugar, an egg, flour, baking powder, baking soda, cinnamon, a medium tart apple, and 3/4 cup of walnuts. You mix it all together, put it in a pan, put it in the oven, and about 40 minutes later, you're done and ready to go. So that's another nice one, and it's a very tasty recipe too. Now, other than chocolate, one of my other favorite things is molasses cookies. And these are called molasses chewies. They are chewy, even though they're fairly flat, but it's your basic molasses cookie ingredients. Once you've made up the dough, you make little balls and then you roll them in sugar and put it in the oven. They do spread out, so make sure that you don't have them too crowded in the pan. So I have got the whole meal. We're all set to go, and those are delicious with tea or coffee or milk or something like that. I may try putting some raisins in another batch, because I like raisins in molasses cookies.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Happy New Year, Carolyn.
Oh, thank you.
The chocolate cookie there.
They remembered me.
Well, and a Happy New Year to all you viewers. Today I picked ingredients that most of you have in your cupboard right there at home. They're quick and easy to make. As a matter of fact, all of the recipes that I'm going to show you, I only had to buy 11 different things that I didn't have at home at a cost of $24.75. So that's a good way to start the new year. Now, my first recipe is right here. It's slow cooker apple pork roast. It's a recipe from a monthly newsletter put out by Cider, which is an organization in the Champlain Islands that helps senior citizens. They do a great job. It's headed up by Robin Williams. And into the slow cooker goes your apples, an onion, applesauce, the pork roast, and cinnamon to taste. And you cook on high for 8 hours. So when you're ready to serve, take the roast out and put it on a plate like you see here, and then over it goes that delicious warm apple cinnamon sauce. And this is really good on a cold winter day. Easy to make in the crock pot, so you don't have to spend a lot of time preparing. So there you go, a slow cooker apple pork roast. Very good. Well, when I was at graduate school at the University of Alabama down in Tuscaloosa, popovers were very popular down there, and I used to enjoy them very much. But when I came back to Vermont, I couldn't really find them up here, and I finally found a recipe that I could make that reminded me of those popovers down there in Tuscaloosa. And here they are. They're a cornmeal popover with just 5 ingredients. In here there's flour, cornmeal, milk, eggs, butter. And the trick to making good popovers is using a hot muffin tin that you take right out of the oven. And you can see how nice they look. And I'm going to serve these up with some jam or honey. I think they'll make a great complement to our pork roast. Now, if you don't want a pork roast, take a look at these. These are my maple sticky buns, and they're out of this world. They're made with several different ingredients, but they do have that yeast dough, so they take a little longer to make, but it's well worth the effort. So first you make the dough and you roll it out into a 12 by 18 inch rectangle, top with some walnuts, brown sugar, Vermont maple syrup, of course, and you roll it up like a jelly roll, and then you slice it and bake. And when they're done and cooled, you cover with a glaze and top with some nuts and more Vermont maple syrup. And just take a look at this. Now, doesn't that make your mouth water? I wish you were all here to sample these along with us. Maple sticky buns. Okay, my viewer recipe comes from Rebecca Blanchard, and she lives over in Enosburg Falls. And it's her Martha Washington pie. And she says, this has been a secret recipe until now, so we thank you for this recipe, Rebecca. And she says it's something that's easy to make, and with Washington's birthday coming up next month, I thought it would be fun to show it to you this afternoon. Now, it looks like a cake, but back in the 1700s, they were often called pies. Now, the bottom layer is made with the regular cake ingredients, to which you add 3 egg whites, which makes it very nice and fluffy. And while that's cooking, you make your frosting, and that's made with cocoa, sugar, flour, milk, and butter, and eggs in a double boiler. And it's very good, and I hope you'll serve it. I've cut a slice here, and going along with Washington's birthday, we're going to put some cherries on it. So take a look at that. Very, very good, and it's so simple to make. Now, concluding with a couple of more dessert recipes, this is my white chocolate pineapple cake. And like Deb, I love to cook with pineapple because it makes me think of the warm weather there in Hawaii. Along with the white chocolate in here and the pineapple, there's some cream cheese, and it's just made with the regular cake ingredients. You don't really have to frost because there's white chocolate on top that you can see, and then travels well, so it's great for bake sales and potlucks. So I hope you'll give this a try. And lastly, but not least, my cranberry cherry lattice pie. And take a look at this. It just has 5 ingredients, cherries, cranberries, sugar, tapioca, and lemon juice. great flavor, and I think George Washington cut down a cherry tree or something.
That's the rumor.
Okay.
Well, thanks, and these are great recipes
Thank
to
you.
start the new year. And of course, there are a couple different ways you can get these recipes. You can go online to the Across the Fence website, go to uvm.edu/extension, and click on the link to Across the Fence. You'll find the recipes on the left-hand side of the web page. To get the recipes by mail, send $2 in a stamped self-addressed business-size envelope to 2017 Recipes, Box 188, South Hero, Vermont 05486. And please remember, if you are ordering the recipes, to include your $2 in a stamped self-addressed business-size envelope. The address again is 2017 Recipes, Box 188, South Hero, Vermont 05486. Our chefs will be back in February on the 2nd with a collection of recipes for impossible pies and dump cakes. So plan to join us for that. In closing, from all of us here at WCAX TV and Across the Fence, our best wishes for a healthy and happy new year.